So I'm gonna kind of do a 2-for-1 today. I've got a lot of things that I'm really backed up on, and I hate that I have to keep saying that I'm backed up, but I really am. And also, if you hear some noise in the background, I've got a full house today, and I haven't quite finished the studio yet in terms of the soundproofing and the insulation and all that good stuff. So that will be coming up, but rest assured, the reviews are going to get done. Now, as promised, we were going to keep continuing to look at the Deadpool line in terms of the Hot Toys figures. Now, I've already talked about how awesome Deadpool and Wolverine was. It was one of my favorite films. I had so much fun while I was watching it. And the cool thing about it is that they really explore and bleed over into the comics, so to speak, in terms of multiverses and the infinite amount of Deadpools that they are, which I'm glad that it actually came to the MCU, sort of. Now, normally when I'm reviewing these figures and in the intro, I usually do a backstory, kind of a synopsis of their origin, but I feel like if I do it for this figure, it's really going to be on spoilers, even if you haven't seen the movie or read the comics, and it's a very interesting backstory, and I don't want to spoil it just in case you haven't seen it or read the comics. So I'm not going to do that to you guys. Oh, in the interest of time, and I guess, the whole theme of the TVA, we're going to jump right into this one. So today we're going to be reviewing Hot Toys version of Lady Deadpool from Deadpool and Wolverine, the 1/6 scale figure. Let's take a closer look. Well, for many years when Deadpool debuted in the comics, most of us were kind of interested or wondered what a Lady Deadpool would look like, and we finally got our answer. And here it is in 1/6 scale, and now in the MCU. Sort of, and I keep saying that. I'll explain maybe later. Anyways, this is a perfect recreation of what we see in the film. I love the whited out eyes. Of course, the the orbitals are really cool on this one. Really nice ponytail in the back, and it's actually rooted hair. It's not sculpted, which in this case, it really works with ponytails. There's a lot of texture on the mask. It looks really fantastic, and a shadow just went by. But overall, this is a great head sculpt and exactly what we see in the film. Really awesome. Now, the midsection and upper torso of this piece is pretty fantastic as well. There's nothing really too surprising about it. It's a unibody suit. It's got that great texture and wonderful color palette. The reds offset against the black. And of course, this is Lady Deadpool, so she is going to have, the memories, so to speak, but they're done very well. Not too ostentatious. Exactly what we see in the film, which is really great. But again, just like the Deadpool figure, you get this really awesome belt buckle, very detailed. Great, just emphasis on the symbol for Deadpool, and of course the pouches, and I love the brown. It offset against the red very well. Really great job here as well. The lower section of this piece is not surprising, but not disappointing at all either. Now again, this is a one unibody suit, so the flexibility is there, but just be very careful. Now, what I like is the armor set's very similar to what we see in the male version of Deadpool. Again, it's very textured. I just like the way the armor set is here. Now, the ball joint system is a little bit more malleable here, as you can see, and they've actually hid the seam line a lot better than on the Deadpool figure. Of course, she's rocking the heels, or heelette, so to speak, but it is very impressive nonetheless, and I have her posed in one of my favorite ways. Now, Lady Deadpool is packing heat just like regular Deadpool. She's got these, I think they're Mac 10s, which are very detailed, fully functional, slides kind of work, and then of course you can take out the magazines. And the cool thing is that she got pouches on either side, so you can just kind of put them in there, and they fit very well, which is one of the things that I liked about this component of it. It's not a pain in the ass, and it looks really cool once they're displayed in the holsters, so to speak. Now, very similar to her male counterpart, all Deadpools, it seems, love their katanas, and this one is no slouch. She definitely has some wonderful katanas. I love how ornate this is. Just look at the actual handle, and the hilt, I think, is a lot more impressive for some reason than the original. Of course, the blade is done very well. You see that nice kind of like gunmetal and silver dynamic, and there is a little sparkly effect to it that's not showing up on camera. Nevertheless, they're really badass. I decided to display her with her katanas because she looks amazing with them. Now, this is an interesting one. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to mirror this piece, although I will say, to get the full effect of the ponytail and the braid, which looks absolutely outstanding, you get a better appreciation of how wonderfully they rooted this. I mean, look at that. It's like Pantene hair. And I would say if you're not displaying the katanas in the hand, then definitely mirror this piece. She is rocking some fan service, which is really great, and you get a greater appreciation of how she attaches to the base. Again, I guess it depends. That ponytail alone is why I would mirror it, but not necessary. In this particular case, I'm glad that they didn't go crazy with changing up the base. Now, I got the extra crispy one with your Deadpool male version. This is just the regular one. I don't think they offer an extra crispy. But it does have the hexagonal base with this wonderful lithograph on the actual base. It does read Deadpool and Wolverine, and on the lip of the base in bold white letters it does read Lady Deadpool. I think this is a really cool base. You don't really have to change it. It's just really awesome the way that it is. Now, I know we kind of talked about them a little bit before and I showed you how they looked on the figure, but I think it's worth it to just kind of get a closer look at the weaponry here because it's really awesome. And again, at this scale, to be this detailed, you know, it's just one of those things. It's a signature of Hot Toys. So the Mac 10s look really fantastic. Again, things are pretty much fully functional. You can take out the magazines. And then of course there's the wonderful katanas. The blades look fantastic. They're very ornate. I especially love the hilt on this one. Overall, I'm so glad that there's so much detail at this scale. Now, certainly with the original Deadpool, you did get a lot more in terms of the facial expressions, but nevertheless, I think it's very important that we have them. Now, I mean, you can argue the semantics behind this, but because you have these different facial expressions, you have like a more amount of like head sculpts, I guess, so to speak. I don't know how to correctly quantify that, but again, the more ways to display this piece, the better it is for the consumer, so I'm glad we have these. Now, unlike Deadpool, you don't get baby pool in this one, you only get dog pool, and I don't know, I was kind of comparing the two to see if they were the exact same figure. There are slight variations, so to speak, but essentially, it looks like it's the same sculpt. So if you have this one with the exclusive, and then you bought Lady Deadpool, I guess you got two versions of them, or slight versions, doppelgangers, whatever you want to call them. But nevertheless, it's cool that we get it as an accessory with Lady Deadpool. And of course, rounding out the last bit of accessories, and I think I can count now, you do get 8 additional hands for various poses. Again, full unibody suit. There is an elasticity to it, so it does make it a little bit more forgiving in terms of flexibility. But again, it is a full unibody suit, so just be very careful when you're posing it. Again, I like to do stoic poses and heroic poses, so you know, I don't really stretch them too much to avoid kind of like cracking in the future. So this one was an easy for me, although not in the way that you think. This is not necessarily a holy grail piece because, you know, I guess it's dependent on whether or not you liked Lady Deadpool, but I will say that it definitely gets Raudez's badass seal of approval because this is an awesome figure and a wonderful compliment to the Deadpool figure, which is freaking legendary at this point. I gave it, I think, my highest rating. Well, not my highest rating, but I did get a Holy Grails piece, so definitely pick this one up if you're a fan of Deadpool, if you're a fan of Deadpool and Wolverine, and if you just want to make the whole collection, definitely pick this one up because it is really cool. Alright everybody, so that's my official review on Hot Toys version of Lady Deadpool from Deadpool and Wolverine, the 1/6 scale figure. As always, I thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next Raudeza Reviews.